I bought the 22 most popular cheap true wireless earbuds on the internet. Which one should you buy and which one should you avoid? Let's start off with the best all-round sounder, and it's this, the Huawei Freebuds SE. At 44 Singapore dollars, it is pretty well built, has good comfort, but most importantly has the best sound out of all of these earphones overall. It's got a V-shaped sound signature, but it's still reasonably balanced, and the bass has impact while the mids have detail and the treble has reasonable amounts of clarity without being too sibilant. All around, it sounds the best. And yes, audiophiles will still think it sucks, but for 44 bucks, it is pretty alright. Now, if you prefer more bass but are willing to sacrifice overall sound quality for it, I would recommend you check out the Defunc True Go Slim or the Evo S1 from Evoxz. Now, these two aren't as good overall as the Huawei Freebuds, but they sacrifice some balance, some neutrality, and some detail in the name for giving you a little bit more bass. They're both V-shaped sound signature earphones, and while the Evo S1 has kind of a louder and stronger emphasis on treble than the Defunc, they both are going to give you fun, bassy experiences relative to the Huawei Freebuds, though I still prefer the Huawei. Now, the Defunc stands out as well by having this very interesting ear tip design. It's kind of in between the normal earbuds that go all the way into your ear and the AirPods that kind of sit on the outside of your ear. So it kind of gives you the best of both worlds, which is great. The only problem with it is that the ear stick here is kind of long, so it kind of sticks out of your ear a bit, which might feel a bit uncomfortable to some people. It also is covered in this beautiful soft touch finish, the case, and I really like it. The Evo S1 has one interesting feature though that helps it stand out, and that is a percentage battery indicator. But you're watching a cheap true wireless earphone comparison. You probably want to know which is the best value as well. And if you're someone who is on a tight budget, for under $30, these two provide the best value for money. This is the Alpha Delta AD07 at 22 Singapore dollars, and I really like it because it's got passable detail, but more importantly, it has a very nice sound signature with a strong emphasis on the mids. I really appreciate this because my favorite part in a song is the melodic instrumentals and the vocals. And for that, this is the best out of all of these earphones because it's strong emphasis on the mid. But what if you are someone who is more mainstream with your audio tastes? You listen to hip hop or pop, and what you prefer is a V-shaped sound signature with a emphasis on bass and treble. For those, check out the Aukey T31. For the people who are looking for good value, this is only $27.90, and at that price, it does give a lot of value for money with a very nice build, a very nice design, good connectivity, and more importantly, pretty good sound for the money. And it has a V-shaped sound signature, which means a emphasis and focus on the bass and the treble, which most average listeners in the mainstream market would prefer. Since we're on the topic of value for money and money, this video actually cost me close to $1,000 to make because I had to buy 22 earphones, all close to 50 bucks. And because of that, it's very expensive. So if you appreciate the effort and the cost put into it, make sure you like and subscribe and share if it was helpful to you. Let's move on to high frequencies. What if you're a kind of person that likes upper mids, high-pitched vocals, or treble? For that, I recommend the Soundpeats Q. Now, this Soundpeats Q is decent sounding overall, not amazing. And it still has a V-shaped sounding sound signature, but it has one of the best treble kind of reproductions out of all of these earphones. Nothing amazing, remember it's still a cheap true wireless earphone. Unlike some of these earphones, it doesn't really have sibilance or distortion in the high-pitched treble when the snare drums or the hi-hats hits, which I definitely appreciate about the Soundpeats Q. The only problem with the Soundpeats Q is that at 40 bucks, it is a bit pricey relative to the value options, and it's also pretty big and bulky, so you find it pretty difficult to stuff it into your pocket, and you probably have to put it in your bag or your handbag. Now, honorable mention for treble lovers and people who like high frequencies is the Philips TAT1215. Now, this actually has the best sound if you are someone who loves treble or higher frequencies in your sound signature, but the problem with it is it's really ugly. It looks like an elderly person's hearing aids, and it also has micro USB, which really are fatal flaws which prevent me from recommending it first and foremost. If you're willing to overlook those problems, I think this is actually going to give you some low-key underrated quality sound if you like the upper mids and you like treble. The thing is though, there's still a bunch of earphones that I've tested. A bunch of them really end up on the average and okay list. This list of earphones are earphones that you'll be fine if you bought them. They're just not category toppers and they're gonna get the job done. The Blackdot Pro 2 is one of them. It comes in at 40 Singapore dollars, and I recommended this 2 years ago when it was kind of one of the few budget true wireless options available. But these days, I'm gonna be honest, it really doesn't impress me all that much. My main problem with it is the sound signature. It's got a V-shaped sound signature with too much bass and too much treble that does feel a bit overbearing and a bit bloated at times, and it does tend to bury the mids, which is where you find the vocals and melodic instruments under the drums because it's so focused on the bass and the treble. It does have redeeming qualities in that it's got a very unique, interesting design. It looks really nice, it's really compact, it's only average these days and not really a category topper. Next up is the Nokia E3000, and it's not really all that interesting. It's okay. For $30, it's fine. If it's $10 cheaper, it will be winning some value awards because it has reasonably passable sound with a reasonably balanced and neutral sound signature and some semblance of detail. It doesn't sound muffled, it doesn't sound bad. You'll be fine using these, you won't be let down by these, and if all you're looking for is a pair of cutely, brightly colored earphones for $30, they'll do you fine. At $50, the Anker Soundcore is actually one of the most well-known ones on this list and also one of the best designed, best built quality earphones on this list. I think it has the best looking kind of design of them all. The only problem with the Anker Soundcore is that it's $50, making it the most expensive. And at that price, it's hard to justify and recommend as a category topper. You know, it's decent. It's not gonna let you down. There's a reason so many people recommend this. It does have the best build quality and feel though. It really is quite nice. For $32.90, the Redmi Buds 3 Lite is decent in terms of earphone options. I think if it was $10 cheaper, it will win some value awards, but its standard V-shaped sound signature with passable detail isn't really impressing anyone. It'll get the job done for the price and it will not let you down. And last but not least, it's the Realme Buds Q, the last earphone in the average category. And it's really average. At $40, it is average price, and it's got a average sound for that average price. It's got a standard V-shaped sound signature, just like most of these earphones here. Okay, but here's the earphones you absolutely should not buy and should avoid. The first one is this, the Remax TWS38. Now, it does have one redeeming feature. It looks interesting. It looks like a little mini TV and it has pretty nice build quality, and it has this cute little battery indicator in this button here. But it's clear to see that the budget for these earphones all went to the design because the sound is absolutely horrendous and atrocious. It's really bad sounding. It sounds muffled, unclear, just sounds bad. Not a fan of this. Unless you really, really like the design and you don't care about sound quality, don't get these. Next up is the Aukey T25, which is a shame because this looks brilliant, it's beautiful, and absolutely is really, really wonderful to pick up and hold and feel in the hand. And at $22, it's one of the cheapest on the list as well, but it just sounds plain bad. The bass is too much and it's overbearing, even more overbearing than on the Blackdots. It's basically muffles the rest of the sound. You can't hear the lyrics to a song, you can't even hear the snare drums or the hi-hats of the song on the Aukey T25. It's just bam, 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 and it's a not pleasant experience. It sounds muffled. This is actually the exact same issue with the one more Piston buds, the Baseus W04 Pro, and the Lenovo LP5. Overbearing, uncontrollable bass that you just can't hear the rest of the music. You can't hear anything else but boomy, relentless, irritating bass that just muffles the whole sound. These three earphones also fail because of that same exact reason. The next two earphones are on the do not buy and the avoid list because they just sound muffled and unclear. They just kind of sound bad. And that's the Baseus W3 as well as the UiiSii TWS21. These two just sound muffled. They sound like you're listening to music in another room, which is obviously not what you want from your earphones, and because of that, they are a fail. That plus the fact that the Baseus W3 has micro USB, which basically completely disqualifies this from the comparison. It has no redeeming qualities. And finally, it's the Diginout T21. It's really not that great, and while it does have a cute design, it sounds very poor for the price. It sounds a bit muffled, lacks in clarity, lacks in character, lacks in excitement. If it's $10 cheaper, sure, it will be a passable product. But at $30, there are just way better options on this list that you can get for only a couple dollars more, or in fact, for a couple dollars less. And with that, I have finally answered the one tech question I get asked the most. Which cheap true wireless earphone I should buy? Are you guys happy now? Okay, anyway, save this video. Make sure you keep the link somewhere, because if your friend ever asks, oh, what wireless earphone should I buy? Send them this video. Share with them. And I hope you appreciate the effort, the cost, and the time that went into making this video. It's very complicated to review 22 things at one go. And if you do appreciate that, I would really like it if you like and subscribe. I'm also giving away all of these earphones somehow, except for the Huawei Freebuds. I really like them a lot. And it will be Discord based. So if you want details about this giveaway, I'll put it in a couple of days on my Discord linked in the description. So make sure you join my Discord. I think I'm just going to give it out like weekly to the most active member or something like that.